Yeah, buddy. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. Hey, everybody. It's Charlie from Moto, and we're finally behind the wheel of a Can-Am Maverick. We've tested the Honda Talon a few times here at Daily Motor, as well as the Polaris RZR. But Can-Am has a large segment of the market as well, and when you check out the Maverick, it's easy to understand why. This thing looks entirely different than any other side-by-side once you start really looking at the details. I mean, look at these giant, unique A-arms that come out and go over the wheel and kind of curl down in on this XRS model. This is the Maverick R Max XRS. This is one of the most intense models that you can buy right off the dealership floor here from Can-Am, featuring Fox live valve shocks and, of course, the 3-cylinder turbocharged engine giving you 240 horsepower, which is enough to motivate this big 4-seater beast very fast, very quickly. We've hit some crazy speeds already out here at RZR VRA. We're out with some other fun vehicles as well. We have a Kawasaki Teryx KRX 1000 ES. So not quite their H2 model, not the one that has 250 horsepower to compete with the Can-Am here. Kawasaki, they're not experienced as much with having big horsepower the way Can-Am is, so they weren't ready to hand the keys off just to any old folk. So we've got their lower horsepower model, and then we also have a Honda Talon 1000R 2-seater with the optional Jackson Racing dealer-installed turbocharger. So that's a lot of fun. Check the link below if you want to see videos on those. And we also have 3 trucks out here. We have that G63 over there that the Topher is driving. We also have a 4Runner TRD Pro running around here somewhere. And one of my favorite vehicles, in fact, the Daily Motor Car of the Year for 2025, the Ford F-150 Raptor R with its supercharged 5.2-liter V8. So if you want to see any of that, check the link below. But back to the Can-Am. As you can see here, this is a pretty fully fledged out machine. We've got some nifty accessory cargo storage back here, in case you want to carry gear with you while you're riding. We've got just absolutely incredible shock technology. And we've got seats to carry the whole friends and fam, with full proper 5-point harness, racing belts in here, handles. It's actually decently comfortable back there. And then you pop open the door, you get in, you see, again, a unique cabin and interior. Very functional. Oh, you gotta hold the stop-start button. This thing's almost like a spaceship. The way the IP is real low. Got a little bit of storage up there with USB ports, 12-volt outlets. I mean, you can accessorize these things so crazy. But of course, you pay for it as well. This one, well over $43,000. Engine modes, diff locking, suspension modes, drive modes. Let's just start out in normal here. We're going to be riding a mixture of all of these side-by-sides throughout the day, so footage is going to be a bit interspersed. But I at least wanted to introduce you all here. This thing is remarkably tame in normal mode. The shocks calm down. The throttle response is not jumpy. It's very approachable. So if you wanted to hand this off to somebody who was a little less familiar with driving one of these things, you wouldn't have to worry about them yeeting themselves aggressively with all this horsepower and capability. But then you come out onto a little opening like this, jump up into sport mode, visor down, foot down. Oh my gosh! Oh. When 240 horsepower hook up to all 4 wheels like that, it is a roller coaster-like experience. In fact, that is how I kind of justify the inflating costs on some of these toys, is you can sort of substitute trips to Disney World when you have something like this. Because you can put 4 people in here, come out onto a trail, and go off pretty much any sort of bumps and jumps and hills and straightaways and have a roller coaster like experience. We had Miles from Miles Per Hour in the passenger seat when we were first getting acclimated, and he hadn't been in a performance side-by-side like this, and we were coming up to some hills and he was like, "Oh my gosh, you gotta slow down." I was like, "Nope." And the suspension just soaked it right up. So pretty darn cool. So we're going to be playing around throughout today, experiencing what these things have to offer. So let's hop to it. So the rub that we've had here with the Maverick throughout the weekend is this is a serious machine. You can tell Can-Am doesn't play. They are sending everything, and that's been my experience with BRP products throughout their portfolio, whether it be snowmobiles, side-by-sides, watercraft, four-wheelers, doesn't matter. They push it to the next level. They really are, despite not being super involved in racing. I mean, they are with these a little bit, but they lean on their racing pedigree to really push the envelope. And so speaking of pushing the envelope, before we wrap up our time here with the Maverick, I'm going to try tackling that line. And as you can tell, nobody has taken that line yet today. So we're going to give it full beans. We're going to do one little scout up here, full tilt. We're going to see if we can make it up. Here we go. Ready? Yeah, buddy. Ah! Is there anything this thing can't do? Man. And it's kind of the blessing and curse of side-by-sides, is that the ceiling is so much higher. You can make a more capable machine that has more power and more suspension travel and more articulation and more grip, and then you just have to go even crazier in order to push the limits. I mean, it stings to say, but especially for a lot of us thrill seekers, your adrenaline levels just keep getting reset. So do I think this thing is absolutely fantastic and impressive? Yes. But am I necessarily having more fun than I would in a machine that costs $20,000 less, like that Talon? It's really tough to say. It's thrilling, but I wouldn't say that the fun factor is linear. I'll also say that it's very nice that there is so much customization for the drive modes, for the ride modes, for the suspension, everything. But on another hand, it's also a bit overwhelming. It's kind of like, okay, I can really dial this in if I need to, but also I kind of just want to put it in Sport or Sport Plus and ride. I'm gonna miss the power from the Maverick, absolutely. And I very much appreciate that it doesn't have the droning and just the loud powertrain noise from the Razor Pro R. That 2-liter, I mean, it's powerful, but gosh, I got so sick of that. I really did. Whereas here in the Can-Am, I'm actually not tired. I kind of like the 3-cylinder noise. I think they have it exhausted well. The seats are comfortable now that I'm kind of settled into them. I like the way that the steering wheel is down low, and it's a very unique cockpit. I mean, it's obviously got the fun factor compared to these other ones that we have out here just because of the power. And I do think I would take it over the Polaris, but I think I like the build and the feel of the Polaris better. But gosh, do I like this engine and the style more. So that's the cool thing with the side-by-side market, is they're all so different, and they all kind of pose a different advantage. So the Can-Am Maverick, if you want to go race and you want to be the fastest one on the dunes, this is definitely the good way to go. And until we get behind the wheel of the H2 from Kawasaki, I think this is the one I would pick. So thank you all so much for watching. If you do want to see more on any of the side-by-sides that we have out here, check the link below, and we'll see you on the next one. I'm Charlie from DM Moto, and as always, ride on.